It's Monday, August 24th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Canada's Atlantic premiers are once again calling on residents to buy local as Canada squares off against the United States in an escalating trade war. Top news headlines just ahead.
And the growing role of pharmacies. We'll speak with the Pharmacy Association of Nova Scotia about the services they provide. That conversation in our 7 o'clock hour. Plus, La Voix de la Mer. Local filmmaker Yvette d'Entremont joins us to talk about her upcoming film, which spotlights the ups and downs of life in a small Acadian fishing community. All that and so much more just ahead on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic. Good morning. Welcome to a brand new week, the last full week of August. Yes, there we are. I can't believe it.
I know we were talking this morning, too, about some of the beaches starting to close this coming weekend.
The beaches in Nova Scotia that are guarded by the Nova Scotia Lifeguard Service, the guarding ends the 30th. So a full week of supervision left. Of course, the beaches will always be open, but
yes, that's a good point.
Ends. I was at the Nova Scotia beach sport, lifeguarding sport competition on the weekend.
Yes, how was it?
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I'll have some visuals of it, if not today, tomorrow. But there's one of the games, it's like you run and then you all have to kind of, it's like musical chairs, lifeguards edition. You run and there's a limited number of kind of, they call it beach flags, but they're basically sticks sticking out of it. And you run and you have to dive and get the sticks. And whoever doesn't get a stick, you're out.
That sounds like so much fun.
It was actually really fun.
How was the weather down at the beach?
It was, I went yesterday and it was really pouring. Yeah, it was, we got a lot of rain. And I think we needed the rain. I felt that we did need the rain. But it's very, very humid. It feels almost like it could start raining again.
Yeah, so we're still dealing with precipitation across the maritime region today. And Newfoundland, Labrador also seeing precipitation. We do have rainfall warnings in effect for parts of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. Here's a live look at Moncton starting off your day. Cloudy early this morning, beautiful though.
Is it not a live look or is it a postcard? It's
right?
hard to tell.
I know, it's gorgeous. So we are going to see another muggy day ahead, as Crystal mentioned. Humidity still factoring in for the maritime region early on. As of right now, we're looking at 21 degrees in Moncton, so quite a warm start to the day. 20 in Fredericton with 22 in Charlottetown and Sydney, 21 in Halifax, 16 in St. John's, Newfoundland. So speaking of Newfoundland, we do have that rainfall special weather statement in effect due to precipitation we're seeing and a rainfall warning also in effect until Wednesday. We do have wet weather moving in for Nova Scotia yet again today, so we do have a rainfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia and parts of Cape Breton Island. Here's a look at your satellite and radar. We are seeing a chance of showers, periods of rain with the risk of thunderstorms for all 3 maritime provinces, as well as Newfoundland, Labrador still dealing with some wet weather as well today. And in terms of your wind forecast, wind will be picking up into the afternoon. As of right now, 28 kilometers per hour in Canso with 24 in Sydney, 22 in Charlottetown with 19 in Grand Etang. Wind gusts getting up to 37 this morning in Canso, 35 into Sydney with 28 in Grand Etang. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the United States is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. Some U.S. politicians are also criticizing the tariffs, with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer warning they will raise costs for families and businesses. Meantime, Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging Canadians to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
Meantime, New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted this to social media. New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and support New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston's statement says in part, it's clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. And Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. The 6th annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation Day race brought dozens to Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia over the weekend. And as CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, the event was created to promote racial and physical wellness.
The vibes are great. They started off stretching and music, and it was just great. The pit stops vibes were great. They kept you going. So yeah, it was really good. It was a great 5K.
Dance across the finish line.
The annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation Race returned to Cherrybrook for its 6th year.
So this year we had 242 participants that registered, and on top of that, more people that showed up asking if they can participate.
The event brings community together to promote physical and racial wellness.
I found that it was really important for BLM in this together to have the run focus within this community, to try to let people know that, for one, this community, Cherrybrook, Lake Loon, is one of the smallest African Nova Scotian communities of the Preston Township, and to kind of bring it back alive, if you will.
Whether they were running, walking, or dancing, it was a time for the community to enjoy each other's company.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm from Guysborough, which is 3 hours away from here, but love the Black Culture Center, love the people who live here, love Cherrybrook, so it's great to be here for today.
I just like running outside. It's like really fun, and it's a nice hot day, and it's nice and fun to just join the community in like a 5-kilometer walk.
And seeing all kinds of people like happy and all that, just having like a good time and all that.
Over the years, the event expanded to include a vendor's market, wellness activities, and more. But the race is a fan favorite.
Everybody is showing up at this race and ensuring that they're fighting for anti-Black racism.
And doing so one step at a time. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia.
I do love the fun at the finish line. It looks like a great event.
Vibes.
The great vibes, yeah.
Dance across the finishing line, why not?
I would love to hear highlights from your weekends. That race looked incredible. I wasn't able to make it there. Anything you would like to share? Fun highlight from the weekend?
No, I had a relaxing weekend.
Yeah?
I think it was much needed, just some rest. It wasn't sunny, so I didn't go to the beach, and then I just stayed home and just relaxed. Yeah.
That's a highlight. It's
Yeah.
good to catch up on rest. What about you?
We went to the Al Whittle Theater on
You
Yes.
did?
Yes.
You saw the cat videos?
We saw the cat documentary video. So that's over at this beautiful small theater that they just keep going in Wolfville, Nova Scotia,
Awesome.
in the valley. And you know what was really cool is the way they divvied it up is they had a bunch of viral videos, of course, but they had different themes for them. And they also featured some cat artwork. And guess what?
What?
They featured a CTV News Vancouver report.
No.
Yes, you'll probably remember the story when you hear about it. It's this cat named Louis Vuitton, and he crosses the border between Canada and the U.S. all the time. And
Oh, no.
and he does not declare anything. It's a great story. CTV St. John Alexander from Surrey. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good job, Amanda, because 10% of the proceeds from that show went to the Safe Haven Animal Rescue in the Valley. So yay!
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, good, good, good.
And what did you get up to?
The lifeguard thing. My daughter's in town. You know, just
Yes.
Family fun, gathering with friends, family. It was just it was a very nice weekend.
Oh,
I didn't even
awesome.
notice the weather actually.
Good.
Yeah.
It was muggy. That's for sure.
Well, and you know what? If you missed the mugginess of the weekend, you're great news. It's still here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
A foggy start to the day over at the Armdale Roundabout. Welcome back. The time now is 6:13 on your Monday morning. Currently 21 degrees in Halifax, so it is still quite muggy, and we're seeing a little bit of a mist early this morning, something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Still holding on to a bit of precipitation today. Weather is brought to you by Cummins Trusted Home Standby Generators. It is warm for the Maritime region, 22 degrees starting off your day in Sydney as well as into Charlottetown, 21 in Moncton with 20 in Fredericton, 11 degrees in Labrador City, 15 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement currently issued for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night. We're expecting around 30 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. A rainfall warning also in effect until Wednesday, seeing some heavier rainfall totals ranging from 40 to 90, and also a rainfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, parts of Cape Breton Island until this afternoon, seeing around 10 to 30 millimeters. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. A cloudy, foggy, and wet start to the day. We're still dealing with a few showers, a risk of thunderstorms early this morning for the Maritimes. Newfoundland, Labrador also going to see periods of rain, tapering off to a chance of showers into the afternoon. So for the Maritime region, we are going to hold on to precipitation throughout the day today, clearing for parts of mainland Nova Scotia into tonight. Still holding on to a bit of precipitation, though, for Nova Scotia, and that will take us into early Tuesday morning. We are going to see a lot of that precipitation clear out for Nova Scotia and parts of New Brunswick, but still going to see a chance of showers remain in the forecast. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, remaining quite light, an additional 2 to 5 millimeters expected for parts of New Brunswick. Across Prince Edward Island, heaviest for Nova Scotia at around 5 to 10 millimeters for parts of Cape Breton Island and into the Tri-County area, but the heaviest being 10 to 20 millimeters for Yarmouth. For Labrador, the heaviest being 5 to 10 millimeters for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and then for Newfoundland, the heaviest being 40 to 50 plus millimeters for Port aux Basques. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from 21 to 27. Isolated showers, a risk of thunderstorms expected throughout your day today. Pretty light wind out of the southwest, only getting up to 15 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, daytime highs between 24 to 26 today. Isolated showers expected throughout your day, with wind gusts getting up to 40 this afternoon. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, periods of rain with a risk of thunderstorms to start your day, tapering off to a chance of scattered showers into the afternoon. Highs between 22 to 26. Then for the rest of Nova Scotia, a few showers to start your day, clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies. Continuing, though, for the Tri-County area, daytime highs will range from 24 to 27. I was going to say the lightest being 21 degrees. 16 for Labrador City. We're looking at shower activity throughout your day today. 19 for St. John's, Newfoundland. Starting off the day with a bit of sunshine, then increasing cloudiness and showers move in into the afternoon. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Now to the latest on the trade stalemate between Canada and the United States as the reality of an all-out trade war between the two countries sets in. CTV's Jeremy Chiron has the latest.
A Sunday at the Washington Grand Prix for U.S. President Donald Trump, who for the first time overnight weighed in on failed trade talks with Canada, leading to an all-out trade war. Canada wants the benefits of being a state without being one, the president said on social media. They have also charged our great farmers for many years massive amounts of tariffs, no more.
To think that they're going to go to war with Donald Trump and actually win that war with the U.S., I think it's foolish on their part.
The U.S.'s fight with Canada over trade getting major play on American network TV today.
As trade talks with Canada fall apart.
It's Canada versus the United States.
With the president facing pushback already at home.
I think the last thing we need right now, as our economy is getting back on its feet, is a trade war with Canada.
American business groups are speaking out against escalations, pointing to rising costs for the American people, asking both sides to get back to the negotiating table.
Donald Trump cares about the business class. He cares about those billionaires. They don't want this, and they're speaking out.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has promised retaliatory measures set to be imposed September 8th. Some suggest creating a window of opportunity.
There may be an opportunity in this pause for the American side to regroup and to become a bit more coherent.
Though public polling here prior to the breakdown in talks suggests the Prime Minister has the political capital to keep fighting back.
I think that we're going to have to see real change on the American side, a weakened political position, a drive and a desire that it's in their self-interest to strike a deal before we get back to the table in any meaningful way.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has promised dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs, but a list of goods has yet to be released. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Trump is accusing Canada of charging American farmers massive tariffs. But one of the leaders of a farmers group in Kansas says that's not true.
I would say that the tariffs that our administration here in the U.S. is what's hurt farmers. The tariffs that we have put on Canada, frankly, are what's hurting farmers. It's the steel and aluminum tariffs primarily because there's a lot of steel and aluminum that goes into farm equipment. We rely very heavily on Canadian trade, and I feel like we've had a very good relationship between our state and Canada, and would like to see that continue.
He says the new tariffs and counter tariffs add even more uncertainty and more chaos. And the punishing new tariffs mean small and medium-sized businesses in Canada will likely be forced to increase prices dramatically or lay off employees. CTV's Kamil Garmali has more on how many jobs could be lost.
Yeah, that guy. It's a big reason why these two work like a well-oiled machine. They're not just employer and employee. This is more like a friendship.
I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to know Jill.
Zoe Tillips has been working at Jill Roshan's children's store for more than 6 years, but now the new U.S. tariffs could mean a big shift in business plans.
Yeah, I'd have to. I would have to let staff go if it came up to that.
And that's the difficult decision many businesses are facing, either increase prices or lay off staff. The new 50% tariffs on billions of dollars of selected goods shipped from Canada to the U.S. expected to put tens of thousands of jobs at risk.
Americans will be purchasing fewer of the tariff items from Canadian producers, and that will mean less output in Canada and therefore less employment in those exporting firms.
In fact, one analysis highlights Canada could lose nearly 90,000 jobs because of the new tariffs. The provinces that could be hit the hardest: Ontario, Quebec, and BC.
There will be spillover effects into other provinces, including Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the Maritimes, because of a reduction in total economic activity.
On Saturday, in his national address, Prime Minister Mark Carney promised aid coming to Canadian businesses hit by tariffs. But labor groups now also want government assistance for the tens of thousands of workers who could be laid off.
What we need to see from government right now is to shore up support for workers. That should mean extending employment insurance and increasing employment insurance.
For these two, plenty of uncertainty.
It's, it's worrying.
But a help is on the way before it's too late. What's your one wish from the federal government?
Some sort of aid when it comes to rent control for small business.
Pocketing enough to save this business and save this friendship. Kamil Garmali, CTV News, Toronto.
We're going to take our second break here on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your weekend must-see moment from TSN. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back to our show. It is 6:25 and time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to Miami with the Marlins playing host to the Nationals. Bottom three with one on. Alberto Hernandez drills one deep to center. Looks like trouble, but not to the superhero Jacob Young. What a grab at the wall. Let's see this again. Gets not 1 foot, but 2 up on the wall. Spider-Man impression, top notch. He covered 93 feet before scaling that wall on that catch. What a play. Very deserving of your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, we have a WNBA doubleheader coming your way. First up, it's the top 2 teams in the league battling it out. The Lynx hosting the Valkyries, and that's followed by the Dream taking on the Sparks. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a high of 25 with isolated showers and a risk of thunderstorms. 24 on Tuesday, seeing sunshine return, but also a low chance of showers will return into the afternoon. Sunshine midweek with a high of 26. For Nova Scotia, we're looking at a high of 23 degrees today. A few showers, a risk of thunderstorms clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies. 24 degrees on Tuesday. Scattered showers, a risk of thunderstorms clearing for parts of the province, leaving sunshine and sunny skies on Wednesday with a high of 24. For Prince Edward Island, 25 degrees today with isolated showers across the island. 25 on Tuesday with sunshine. Clouds will clear into the afternoon. 25 on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud.
Ooh, coming up this half hour of the Move Morning Chat. Today we want to know, what critters have you encountered in your backyard? Ooh, this is going to be fun. We'll get that conversation started in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. It is the last full week of August.
Oh, wild, eh? Wow.
Many people feeling that, right? Trying to soak up the last, few weeks, few days of summer vacation before heading back to school. I know there were, of course, so many of us experienced the downpours on Sunday. My son and I were walking our dog at the off-leash Shuby Park in Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Usually very busy spot, hard to get parking. There was only one other vehicle in the parking lot there Sunday morning. It was like we had the park to ourselves.
Right.
And honestly, a walk in the rain, as long as you got the right gear, so nice.
Sometimes it could be therapeutic.
Yeah.
I love sitting on my porch in the rain, even like you get a little bit of a misting, but
yeah,
who cares? So
the
nice.
sound of the rain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cozy vibes.
Love to nap with some rain falling outside.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
So, are we getting more rain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do have precipitation across much of Atlantic Canada today. Some rainfall warnings in effect, special weather statements, especially for parts of Newfoundland. For St. John's, as of right now, not seeing any precipitation in your area. Actually going to see a bit of sunshine this morning. 15 degrees to start your day. We are going to feel quite muggy, though, for the Maritime region, holding on to that sticky weather. 21 degrees in Halifax, 22 starting off your day in Charlottetown with 20 in Fredericton, and cooler in Labrador City at 11. Here's a look at that special weather statement currently issued for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night. We also have a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday for parts of Newfoundland. And then for the Maritime region, a rainfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. A chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms, periods of rain for parts of Atlantic Canada to start your day, and tapering off to a chance of showers for much of the Maritime region into the afternoon. And in terms of our wind forecast, going to be a breezy afternoon ahead. As of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 22 in Sydney, as well as into Canso and North Cape. Wind gusts getting up to 33 kilometers per hour right now in Canso. We'll take a look at those rainfall totals just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. We'll have the latest on trade in just a moment, but we begin with developing news. There is a large power outage in downtown Halifax this hour due to a fire. More than 3,600 Nova Scotia Power customers are currently off the grid. Halifax Fire tells CTV News they responded to a small electric panel fire at the Scotiabank Centre. According to the utility, this outage started around 5:30 this morning, and restoration times range from 7:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the United States is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. Meantime, Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging Canadians to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
Other premiers posted this. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posting to social media, New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and supporting New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston's statement says, in part, it's clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. And Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. Finally, in Cape Breton, one of the longest-running farmers exhibitions in the country wrapped up in style over the weekend. CTV's Ryan McDonald has the sights and sounds from the crowds, the rides, and all the animals.
It was the 110th year for the Cape Breton Farmers Exhibition in North Sydney. To put that into perspective, during the X's first summer here, Alexander Graham Bell was still living down the highway in Bedeque.
It's kind of been like my thing my whole life. I was put on a horse for the first time when I was 12 hours old.
15-year-old Carly Peters has had her horse Val since she was 3. Together, they have been coming here to the X for as long as she can remember.
I like how many people come every year, and the crowds are just better because everybody's cheering for you. They make the horses hyper, and the horses just want to do their job more.
Yeah, I have 2 horses here.
10-year-old Ava Wainman has been coming to the exhibition since she was a toddler. She's here for the competition side of things.
I just like racing. It's my favorite hobby I do, and I've done it for 8 years.
Well, 5 years ago, we were in serious danger of losing this facility.
The X didn't make it to 110 years without running into a few challenges along the way. Nothing that couldn't be overcome, though, and now organizers say they may have set a new attendance record for a single day this past Friday. And the hope was they might have more than 20,000 people through the gates total for this year by the end of the weekend.
There's always a feeling of nostalgia when people come to this place. They come home from away, they meet their friends. This is always a meeting place, and we're just trying to make it bigger and better every year for them.
We started coming over here back in the 50s and early 60s. My father used to come over with his milk cows.
For Junior Paninsky, that nostalgia that others talked about is also a family tradition. Now he is here with his granddaughter and her horse.
Means a lot. Means a lot coming back. Hopefully she'll get her child. Maybe another generation coming back.
So while the X in North Sydney is now over for another year, the hope is that this summer staple will continue for many more to come. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, North Sydney.
I'm on my way.
Sign
Love
me
an
up.
exhibition.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
saddle up. The sights, the sounds, the smells. I love it all.
Yes.
Me too. Oh, I love visiting little booths and everybody's got their ribbons that they've won. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Okay, well, let's move on. This is a nice story to start our week. Some kind community workers recently gave some baby turtles some TLC. Now, despite the construction, the District of Muskoka says about 1,100 turtles still got to hatch. Officials moved the turtles and the animals and the eggs away from construction zones. They collected everything up, checked ditches for other wildlife before work started, and then the eggs were taken into incubation and they hatched and then were released back into the wild.
Oh, well done.
I love that.
A great effort. Took the community, took many levels of community, and it also took some foresight to think about this plan to make sure it unrolled. Yeah.
I just love how tiny, you appreciate how tiny they are.
Yeah.
Lord.
There's a little baby.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're very, very vulnerable when they're a little tiny like that.
Got a long way to go.
They do.
Okay, still ahead, which film ruled the box office this weekend? We'll have your entertainment headlines still ahead, but before that, join us for the conversation. It's the Move Morning Chat, our topic of the day. And today we want to know, do you have any funny scenes like this, raccoon or maybe something else? What critters have you encountered in your backyard? We'll share our stories next.
Good morning and happy Monday. The time now is 6:42. We're taking a live look at Fredericton. Currently 20 degrees as you head outdoors. It is going to be a muggy day ahead for much of the Maritime region. We also have a bit of wet weather expected to move in, something to keep in mind when you are heading out early this morning. 22 degrees starting off your day in Charlottetown with 21 in Halifax, 18 in Yarmouth, 11 degrees in Labrador City with 8 degrees over in Cartwright and 15 in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, expecting rain between 30 to 60 plus millimeters, as well as a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday. Rainfall could range from 40 to 90 millimeters. Over to the rainfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon, seeing around 10 to 30 millimeters. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. Cloudy, foggy, wet start to the day for much of Atlantic Canada. We do have a chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms for all three maritime provinces. Newfoundland, Labrador also going to deal with some wet weather. We're looking at a risk of thunderstorms as well, especially for parts of Newfoundland. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected. We hold on to precipitation across the region. And then into tonight, we start to see that precipitation break down, but still holding on to a chance of showers as we approach early Tuesday morning. We start to see that precipitation clear out, but for the most part, holding on to a low chance of showers into the afternoon. So if you're wondering about precipitation totals, remaining quite light for much of the Maritime region, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick, across Prince Edward Island, and the heaviest for Cape Breton Island being around 5 to 10 millimeters for Sydney, and the heaviest for the Tri-County area, 10 to 20 millimeters into Yarmouth. For Labrador, we're looking at around 5 to 10 millimeters for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and an additional 40 to 50 plus millimeters expected for Port aux Basques, Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from 21 to 27. Isolated showers, a risk of thunderstorms throughout your day today with light wind out of the southwest, only getting up to 15 kilometers per hour. And then for Prince Edward Island, daytime highs between 24 to 26. Isolated showers across the island today. Wind picking up into the afternoon with gusts of 40. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 22 degrees up to 26. Rain starts off the day with a risk of thunderstorms tapering off to a chance of scattered showers into the afternoon. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, a few showers to start your day. Clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies. Wind gusts getting up to 40. Highs between 21 degrees in Yarmouth up to 27 today. For Labrador City, we're looking at a few showers throughout your day today with a high of 16 degrees at 19 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Starting off with a bit of sunshine, then seeing increasing cloudiness. Showers arrive into the afternoon. All right, so for our forecast on Tuesday, we do have some sunshine returning for parts of the Maritime region, also holding on to a low chance of showers for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Then into Tuesday night, we see a chance of showers return for parts of Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland, Labrador still dealing with precipitation throughout the day. Into Wednesday's forecast, sunshine returns yet again. We are going to see a chance of showers early in the morning for parts of Cape Breton Island, Newfoundland, parts of Labrador as well, and that will increase into the evening hours. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to the Move Morning Chat. We are back with the Move Morning Chat with Aaron and Peter. This morning we're asking you about critters. Specifically, what critters have you encountered in your backyard? Peter, I think you're going to kick this one off.
Okay, why don't I tell you about the backyard critters that I saw just this past weekend? So again, I've mentioned before, we're lucky enough to have a cottage in the Antigonish area. I am outside the cottage, just kind of cleaning up, raking up some grass, and I'm looking at the bear poop that's about 3 feet away from the corner of our cottage. As I am looking, I realize that I'm being stung by ground wasps that are living under the ground. They're yellow jackets, actually. They are stinging my ankle. I'm running away screaming like a small child. Moments later, I'm heading over to the shed to get a shovel to pick up said bear poop. When I find some more poop, which I Google Lens, it tells me it's red fox poop. And at the same time, a snake is scurrying away as I'm getting into the shed.
Like what?
So,
what an
adventure. I'm going back, and a bald eagle is flying around over top. So lots of backyard critters.
Okay, Steve Irwin. Okay.
Yeah. I know. He's telling us this on the air. I'm like, this sounds like an episode of like National Geographic or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in your backyard, but there's a lot. I was telling Peter about something that I saw in my backyard for the first time. I did not even know these things existed. I need you to Google a hummingbird hawk moth. I was working in the garden, and my girlfriend and I looked at each other and went, what in the world is that? It looked like a hummingbird moth hybrid. It was the weirdest thing, like moth wings, but it had that long hummingbird. What is that? Like a nose? I don't know what that is.
Their beak?
And it was like eating the flowers. I'm like, what? I've never seen this before in my life. So I Googled it. I wish I got a photo, but it was so quick. It's the hummingbird hawk moth, which is actually quite common in Nova Scotia, in the Halifax area, in places like Sambro and Lake Echo. Give it a Google. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen, and I've got them all over my backyard, apparently.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you guys have some really cool stories. I was sitting on my back deck and I had a hummingbird fly up to my face, so quickly looked and then flew away. Wow. That was just last weekend. But we have a frequent visitor in our backyard, and it's a pheasant. And it's a male pheasant. And every time I see him, I get so excited. He's so beautiful. He has the most gorgeous colors, but he clearly doesn't like our dog, so sometimes you don't see them because they have bits of brown, so they can really blend in quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I can tell when he's had a recent visit in our backyard, because if I go outside with our dog to play ball, he's, for once, not interested in playing ball because he's sniffing, because he can tell where he's been. And sometimes this pheasant has like 2 other pheasants with him, and they follow him around. But I feel like just a kid in a candy shop when I do see him. I think, oh, the pheasant's here.
That's so cute.
Probably about once a month we get a visit.
Oh my goodness. So I just have the standard like black flies in my community and a stray cat that comes to my house all the time. He's adorable. I literally have to close the gate on my porch, my front porch, because he always tries to come up. He sprays everything. Oh. So now me and him, we don't have a great relationship anymore. I'm like, shoo, go away. But I found, so anyways, I was coming home one day. Tell me how the front of my house looked like Amityville Horror, the original. So flies, black flies everywhere. I'm like, why are there so many flies everywhere? I look over to like my neighbor's side yard, and there's the biggest, gigantic dead rat that I've ever seen. I'm talking about like almost the size of a raccoon, okay?
Oh boy.
He was dead, but all the flies were there, and safe to say they didn't remove it, and he decayed. I watched him rot.
My God.
Yeah, while the flies ate at him. It was so gross. But anyways, that's the kind of critters I have in my neighborhood, apparently.
Wow. Good morning.
Good morning.
I like how half of our stories were terrifying and the other half were adorable. So we're throwing the question to you. What kind of critters have you encountered in your backyard? Please share your encounter, your story, good and bad. 10400 is the number. We'll share your answers a little later.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:53. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other.
Spider-Man swung to the top of the box office for the 4th weekend in a row, collecting another $39 million in ticket sales this weekend. It's on track to surpass Avengers Endgame as the second highest grossing movie at the domestic box office. Marvel is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News. In second place, the 6th installment in the Insidious franchise called Out of the Further that made $25.3 million, below the opening for the previous Insidious movie called The Red Door.
Ithaca's king is coming back.
No, he's not.
And rounding out the top 3 was Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which added another $19.5 million 6 weeks after its debut. And happy birthday to Chad Michael Murray, known as a teen heartthrob on shows like Gilmore Girls and Dawson's Creek in the early 2000s. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
And it's exhibition season, with many fairs happening in our region and across North America. One of the most famous is the Iowa State Fair, home of the butter cow.
Yes, it is not butter, however. It's another food that's become a fan favorite at the event, the beef sundae. Here's a report on its appeal.
4 Sundays! Helping skill.
Roast beef and gravy.
It looks like a sundae,
Need a sundae?
but it eats like a lunch.
It's everything all in one bowl.
No ice cream, no fudge. Mashed potatoes, gravy, beef, and cheese, with a little cherry tomato on top, just to keep up appearances.
It's something a little different.
Long before folks waited for egg rolls and fried pies, the line swung around the cattlemen's beef quarters in all directions. 20 years later, that line hasn't gotten one bit shorter.
I think at first there was a curiosity, right?
Michelle Baumhover helped create the hot beef sundae, along with then beef quarters manager John Mortimer. The problem they were trying to solve, leftover roast beef trimmings. So they started brainstorming.
There was one that I had saw that was called a steak parfait. And I'm like, that's interesting, but being from the Midwest, I'm like, you know, man, that'd be really good with mashed potatoes and roast beef.
And just like that, the strangest sundae at the fair was born. They figured they'd sell about 4,000 that first year.
733.
They were off by just a little. They sold 22,000.
When we first launched it in 2006, I got calls from across the country, you know, London, in Japan, the Calgary Stampede.
But 20 years later, someone else is in charge of Michelle's creation.
It is kind of weird that, yeah, she was the one that started and now I'm dealing with it.
Her husband Wayne took over the beef quarters when Mortimer retired, which means the hot beef sundae has stayed in the family.
Part of the state fair.
20 years ago, it was an experiment. Today, it's a tradition. Proof that at the Iowa State Fair, sometimes the foods that make the strangest first impression are the ones you end up missing the most.
It's comforting. It reminds them home. It reminds them family. So if you look at it in that perspective, you know, yeah, that's, you know, everyone wants that and they are nostalgic about that kind of food.
Monday, August 24th, today on Your Morning Atlantic, Canada's Atlantic premiers once again calling on people to buy local as Canada squares off against the U.S. in an escalating trade war. Details just ahead in your news headlines.
And pharmacy services in Nova Scotia. We'll speak with the Pharmacy Association about their growing role in the province, including some pharmacies detecting skin cancer. That's coming in this half hour of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. We're kicking off a fresh new work week, last week of August.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the way you said that, kicking off a fresh new work week. That sounds so full of possibility.
Trying to keep up with you, Crystal.
I love it. I love it. This is great. Fresh new week. What are we going to do with this last... technically, summer goes into September, I know. But
yes,
for a lot of people, this is kind of the last week of summer with vacations. Some people
when
go back
does
to
school officially begin?
It depends on which school system you're in.
Absolutely.
And then it's weird because the school starts on one day, but it's technically for the teachers. So for Jake for the Halifax area, he's on a Thursday. I think it's like the second Thursday in September.
Okay.
I'm taking the day off.
So a few weeks still.
Yeah.
Not the first week of September. I think it is the first week of September.
It could be the first week of September. I want to say it's like a random day.
It is like a Thursday. I know that
Okay.
universities,
It's like a
at least St. Mary's University, goes back on the 8th. Which is
Oh,
following
okay.
week.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go. I know there's just this weird time where you're trying to find camps if you're still working.
Yeah.
Like this is the last full week of available camps.
Yes.
And then after that, we're kind of in this like weird no man's land where my husband and I are like trading off and figuring out like how we're going to get our son here for. Yeah.
Gosh, those years. I remember those times, challenging times. They're coming for you. You're not there yet, but you'll be there soon.
Yay.
Okay. 7:02. Prime time for people watching right now trying to get out the house. How the heck are they going to dress today?
Well, it's quite hot and muggy to start your day. A very foggy start to the day in Peggy's Cove, as you can see there. 19 degrees as of right now. You can see some people out there early on. Not really much to see, though, looking out. As of right now, we are going to see that fog burn off. We do have precipitation still tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Make sure to pack your rain gear. 21 degrees in Halifax, 22 starting off your day in Charlottetown, with 21 in Moncton, 11 degrees in Labrador City, 14 into St. Anthony. We do have a special weather statement currently issued for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, as well as a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday. For parts of Nova Scotia dealing with a rainfall warning as well until this afternoon. So wet weather tracking across much of Atlantic Canada, a chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms, periods of rain for parts of the region. So keep this in mind when you are heading out, because at one point or another you could see precipitation throughout your day. And in terms of our wind forecast, it's going to be a bit of a breezy afternoon. As of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 22 in North Cape and in Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 33 right now in Canso and 28 in Sydney. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Power has been restored in downtown Halifax following a large outbreak that, at its peak, impacted more than 3,600 Nova Scotia Power customers. It was due to a small electrical panel fire at the Scotiabank Centre early this morning. Power was restored just before the 7 o'clock hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the United States is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. Meantime, Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging people to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted this to social media. New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and supporting New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston's statement says, in part, it's clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. And Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. One person was treated for injuries after a residential fire in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia this weekend. Halifax firefighters responded to the blaze around 10 p.m. Saturday. Crews found flames on a third-floor apartment, and a resident who had been exposed to smoke was pulled to safety. Officials say first responders quickly brought the fire under control. For nearly 70 years, it has been a tradition on PEI, the Gold Cup and Saucer harness race. Every summer, it draws thousands of watchers and bettors. And this year was particularly special for a horse trainer who finally brought it home. Here is CTV's Maria Saru.
27. As horses charge around the bend, drivers in two-wheeled carts steer through the pack. On the inside. But before the racing got underway, Sugarman took a few training laps far from the crowd. At the reins, PEI-born trainer Mark McKinnon, back home after building his career in Ontario.
It's been a childhood dream of mine for a very long time, and to be this close and definitely starting to sink in a little bit.
Inside the barn, McKinnon readied his second horse, 5th and 5. The pair, he says, are favorites for the finale.
I couldn't be happier with how both horses are going into the race.
At the track, anticipation was building by the hour. Race 7 is rolling behind me, and along the rail, fans are settling in for the $100,000 Gold Cup and Saucer, set for well after dark.
Moonrider, baby! Let's go!
And at the wagering booth, fans put money behind their picks.
I'm betting on Freight Air. Horse number 8, bet on this guy.
Some came from across the country. Where are you from?
I'm from Alberta.
My husband and I, we went around a few times, and it was so just breathtaking and just relaxing.
We're horse people, and we're looking to see what it's all about.
Whatever the result, McKinnon's journey has come full circle.
It's meant the world still. Like you say, win or lose, it's been an amazing experience.
While the cup goes to one horse, the night belongs to the island, a tradition that spans generations with no finish line in sight. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Oh, wow, that's a big weekend. Oh, yeah, I love the truck, the harness racing track, and then the gates close up. I want to ride in that sometime. It's going to be fun.
Cool.
I think I might have some connections. Could make it possible. All right. This is my favorite story of the day, everybody. Not shy to say it. Okay? Time to meet Toronto Zoo's latest edition. You just watch how it's done. It's beautiful. Okay? So, Mama, her name is Kindia. She reveals the name of her baby herself. It was voted on by the public. Look how they did this. It's a Canadian name. The baby's name is Maple.
Maple.
And there she is. Welcome to the world, little cutie.
I'm glad we finally know her name.
Yep, and just how they did the reveal by Mama removing the leaves like this. Oh my gosh.
That is so cute.
Beautifully done. So Kindia, there's Maple. So cute.
So adorable. They're so slimy looking.
Well, you have to keep them wet.
It protects them. Fair. They secrete it.
Yeah.
I read that fact when I was there.
Oh,
yeah.
They were splashing them constantly.
I think they are like hosing them down a lot too. They would love to be in our region right now. You wouldn't even need to be hosed.
Right?
Just go outside.
Oh, the humidity.
Yeah.
Latavia has more details on that and the wet weather ahead on this Monday. Plus, I'll have the latest on your national and international news headlines. Until then, we take a live look at Queen Street in downtown Charlottetown. It even looks humid there this morning. The forecast in just a few moments.
Morning and happy Monday. The time now is 7:12. Taking a live look at a very foggy start to the day over in St. John. 18 degrees as the ferry begins to dock. We are looking at a chance of drizzle throughout your day today, so something to keep in mind when you are heading out early on. Weather is brought to you by Cummins Trusted Home Standby Generators. Quite muggy to start your day for the Maritime region as well. 21 degrees in Halifax with 22 in Charlottetown. 19 degrees right now in Fredericton with 11 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. 17 degrees over in Corner Brook. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, expecting around 30 to 60 millimeters of precipitation, as well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Wednesday, looking at around 40 to 90 millimeters. We also have a rainfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island until this afternoon, looking at around 10 to 30 millimeters. So over to our forecast timeline. Be prepared for precipitation for much of Atlantic Canada. A chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms for the Maritime region. Newfoundland, Labrador also going to deal with some wet weather. For Newfoundland, seeing the heaviest of that precipitation, but also into the Tri-County area of Nova Scotia. We are going to deal with this wet weather into tonight's forecast as well. Pretty warm lows for the overnight hours, and that will start to clear out that precipitation early into Tuesday morning. We will be seeing a bit of sunshine return before a chance of showers returns into the afternoon. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick across Prince Edward Island. Heaviest for Cape Breton Island, only at around 5 to 10 millimeters. And then for the Tri-County area, the heaviest being 10 to 20 millimeters for Yarmouth. For Labrador, 5 to 10 millimeters expected for Happy Valley Goose Bay. And the heaviest being around 40 to 50 plus millimeters expected for Port aux Basques. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from 21 degrees in St. John up to 27. Isolated showers, a risk of thunderstorms expected throughout the day today. Pretty light wind out of the southwest, only getting up to 15 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 24 to 26. Isolated showers also expected throughout your day. Wind gusts getting up to 40 this afternoon. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, periods of rain with a risk of thunderstorms, tapering off to scattered showers into the afternoon with highs between 22 to 27 and wind gusts getting up to 40. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 21 degrees in Yarmouth up to 27 in Kentville and Middleton. Showers starting off the day, clearing out for the mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies into the afternoon. And then for Labrador City, 16 degrees today with showers expected throughout your day, 22 for St. John's, Newfoundland. We are going to see a mix of sunny clouds to start your day and then seeing shower activity into the afternoon. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Now we're going to check out your campfire conditions. All right, now time for your campfire conditions, and that is brought to you by Pine Acres RV, where customers become friends. Burning is actually allowed across New Brunswick today. Just make sure to always check for municipal bylaws, always valid until 2 p.m. For Nova Scotia, burning is allowed around 2 p.m. to 8 a.m. And then for Prince Edward Island, burning is also allowed, but between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 a.m. So always make sure to keep your fires small and under control. Never leave a fire unattended, and make sure that a fire is out before you head to bed or you leave a campsite.
Thanks, Latavia. French language has become a contentious point in Canada-U.S. trade negotiations. It was listed as one of the key issues that forced Canada to suspend talks with the U.S. In recent years, the U.S. has said 2 Quebec language laws are trade barriers. CTV's Matt Grillo has more.
Quebec's premier said it was a red line that could not be crossed, and the Prime Minister was right for halting talks, as the French language and Quebec culture became key sticking points in the negotiation.
Our culture, our language is central to our identity, and it is important to exclude that of the negotiation table.
It may have surprised some, but it's not the first time the U.S. is at odds with Quebec language laws. Last year, Bill 96, Quebec's update to the French language charter, caught the attention of the Trump administration, who listed it as a foreign trade barrier. The law requires products sold in Quebec to have a French description, and trademarks using generic terms have to be translated into French.
The bilingual packaging is a barrier to trade. It's not that much different than tariffs or quotas or interprovincial barriers. It harms the ability for businesses to freely sell their products.
And then there's Bill 109 that seeks to promote Quebec culture online, meaning streaming services like Netflix, Spotify, and Apple have to promote and prioritize French content for Quebec users.
We're still waiting for specific regulations under Bill 109, which is now law. So we don't know exactly sort of how much French needs to be embedded in content, how the interfaces for streamers like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus would need to change.
In March, the U.S. also called Bill 109 a potential trade barrier.
I don't think when Bill 109 was initially introduced that we could have foreseen that it would come to this, and yet here we are.
The Prime Minister said during negotiations there were threats against the French language and Quebec culture.
Continual efforts, always resisted, as I said in my remarks, and always will be resisted. Efforts to restrict our protections of our language, our culture, and in effect, our sovereignty.
It's all part of trade negotiations, says this economist.
Everybody's going to have their own standards, their own rules, their own institutions, and their own history and culture. And they're going to build a system on those things. And so somebody from the outside is going to say, wait a second, I don't agree with that.
It was clearly a step too far for Canada, with Ottawa unwilling to compromise on French language protections. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
Thank you, Matt. We're going to take another break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll get more details on the growing role pharmacists are playing in Nova Scotia's healthcare system. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. It's 7:22 on this Monday morning. Now, the role pharmacists play in our healthcare system continues to grow. Right now, 2 pharmacies in Nova Scotia are offering appointments for early skin cancer detection as part of a study called SPOT. Here to tell us more is the CEO of the Pharmacy Association of Nova Scotia, Alison Bodner. Thank you so much for coming in today, Alison.
Thanks for having me.
So exciting that pharmacies are continuing to become more essential in our healthcare system. But let's talk about this really cool study you're doing where early skin cancer detection is available in certain pharmacies.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a study that's actually being run by Dr. Richard Langley, a dermatologist with the Nova Scotia Health Authority. And they wanted to test this process in which you use a very high resolution camera out in various community locations. So they were at the Busker Festival and they'll be at other locations, and they reached out to us to see if pharmacy would be a good location, and we jumped at the opportunity given we have so many pharmacies around the province. To be part of the study. So for the study, it is just 2 locations, one here in Halifax, and they're on today, and one in Bridgewater on Wednesday. And clearly a ton of interest in this. We put the appointments out for availability last Monday, and they were all gone by end of day. So
listen, if you build it, they will come. There's definitely huge interest in that. I myself booked an appointment over the weekend through the PANS website. Notice something neat that I want you to clarify for our viewers. So it was all under the umbrella of pharmacies, but there were certain appointments you could book with pharmacies directly and others for what they call the primary care site at the pharmacy. Can you clarify what that is?
Yeah, for sure. So our pharmacists in Nova Scotia all have the same legal scope of practice. So that's what's authorized by legislation and by our regulators. But not everything is funded as part of the public care system. So you can pay privately for some services, but all of our services are funded at our clinics, and most of our services are funded in the other 270 pharmacies. So if the main difference is, you can get minor ailments treated everywhere, smoking cessation, injections and vaccines. But if you're looking for more longitudinal care like chronic disease management, you want help with your diabetes, managing your medications, or otitis media, in your case, you got an ear infection. Those are certain things that are still just funded in our clinics. And as we grow and as we develop, our goal is that every service will be funded everywhere, but the public doesn't really need to worry about that. Yeah. Our new booking system at yourpharmacyns.ca, you just go in and you'll put in the service that you're looking for. They're all listed with descriptions, and it's going to bring you back whatever locations are close to you where that service is offered. So you don't need to get too worried about, oh, do I have to call a regular pharmacy or a clinic? You just go on to that and you'll find the appointments that are close to you.
And that's what you want our viewers to know. That's super easy. Go to that website, which we'll put on ours to make it easy to find, but you just can book an appointment. They'll give you the options closest to you, and then what's it going to cost you?
These are publicly funded services. So if you're on Your Pharmacy NS and you've booked an appointment through there, those services go through our healthcare system, just like if you were going to your family physician. So if you're going to get your strep throat assessed, there's no cost, there's no deductible for that service.
Amazing. All right, so then you just bring your health card in that case.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for clarifying everything, and continue growing.
Thank you.
All right, we put the information about that website on ours. You can also go to pans.ns.ca, and you'll get the information there as well. 7:26, we'll take a break and be right back.
Coming up in this half hour, a sense of normalcy. We'll visit the IWK Health classrooms as they get ready to welcome students. We'll have more details in 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Well, hello. Come on and join us. us. We're already halfway through the show. If you've got somewhere to be by 7:30, where you're going to have to text them or call them and tell them you're running late.
Because you're watching the show.
Because you're watching the show. We're already there. Don't go anywhere till you get the latest news and the weather.
Yeah.
I would say the weather is it's not really an issue, but you kind of have to have that umbrella ready.
Yeah.
I find days, I'll tell you, like today challenging because it's very hot and sticky, so I want to wear a raincoat, but it's kind of too hot to wear a raincoat.
Yeah, it's one of those things like light layers needed, but definitely because of the precipitation we're seeing across the region, you want a raincoat and or an umbrella, right?
Can I ask a question? How windy is it?
It's going to be breezy. It's the afternoon. Wind gusts getting up to like 40 for the maritime region.
So like that's tough for the umbrella, but I guess try your best.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous in Bedeck.
As always, yes.
Beautiful. I'm taking that pontoon boat out later, ladies. You have to bring your own snacks.
Okay.
I'll provide a mocktail, and we're headed out later this afternoon.
Oh my God, amazing. Thank you. It's quite warm to start your day in Bedeck, 22 degrees as you head outdoors, so definitely a sticky day ahead, factoring in that humidity, especially early on. 22 degrees right now in Charlottetown with 19 in Fredericton, 9 degrees over in Cartwright, and 14 in Gander. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, as well as a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday. We also have a rainfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. So wet weather is tracking across much of Atlantic Canada, a chance of showers for much of the maritime region, a risk of thunderstorms. We are seeing periods of rain starting off the day for parts of Cape Breton Island. Newfoundland, Labrador also seeing shower activity throughout your day today. And in terms of our wind forecast, as I mentioned, it's going to be a bit breezy into the afternoon. As of right now, 26 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 24 in North Cape with 20 into Charlottetown and Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 39 in Grand Etang with 33 in North Cape, 31 in Sydney. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Power has been restored in downtown Halifax following a large outage that at its peak impacted more than 3,600 Nova Scotia power customers. It was due to smoke conditions from a small electrical panel at the Scotiabank Centre early this morning. Multiple fire trucks and police responded to the scene. Halifax Fire says the smoke was extinguished quickly, but it did also lead to a power outage in the downtown core, which included street lights and traffic signals. That power was restored just before the 7 o'clock hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the U.S. is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. In Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging people to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted this to social media. New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and supporting New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston's statement says, in part, it's clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. And Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. To the ice now. Q League training camps are well underway across the Maritimes, and the biggest expectations this year might be in Cape Breton. They haven't won a championship in their 30-year history, but this year they're looking to finally change that. Here is CTV's Ryan McDonald.
It's the 30th anniversary season for the Cape Breton Eagles, and expectations are sky high.
They're building a great team this year, and so this year I said, you know what, I'm buying season tickets.
3 decades in, though, the only banner hanging from the Center 200 rafters is a regular season division title from more than 20 years ago. The Eagles have never won a Q League championship. They have never even made it to a final.
There always has to be somebody that has the longest drought, and unfortunately now, especially with Chicoutimi making the finals last year, that drought now belongs to the Eagles.
Several players who helped the Chicoutimi Saguenayens win last year's Q League championship, that city's first title in more than 30 years, have been traded to Cape Breton for this season.
I heard they're going to have a lot of good players, so I'm excited to get to know everybody and see where we go.
There are new players from the United States, too, including Easton Anello, a defenseman from Massachusetts.
I heard that it gets pretty packed, so there's a lot of season ticket holders.
That was the case in spring 2024 when the Eagles made a surprise run to the league semifinal and sold out a number of playoff games. Since then, though, attendance has tapered off.
You know, you've been here 30 years, you know, you go to the semis one year and then you get knocked out. It's hard.
Perhaps just as difficult has been watching maritime rivals lift the big trophy. The Halifax Mooseheads and St. John's Sea Dogs have each brought home the Memorial Cup. The Moncton Wildcats have won 3 Q League titles.
And when they can go far in the playoffs, as the Eagles did 2 years ago, as even the Cape Breton Oilers did back in '93, they will be fully on board.
Indeed, the last championship parade in downtown Sydney was during the American Hockey League days in the 1990s. If the Eagles could pull something like that off this year,
I wouldn't sleep. I would be down there all hours of the night, all hours of the day, celebrating.
For now, it's about 24 more sleeps until the regular season gets underway September 18th against rival Halifax. Brian McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, we'll see what the new season brings.
I want the Eagles to soar, to rise and soar.
Absolutely.
I want them to have their time. All right, we want to hear from you about creatures. Maybe you saw an eagle in your backyard. That would be incredible, and if you have pictures, even better. But the Move Morning Chat question today is, what critters have you encountered in your backyard? Text us at 10400. The responses are coming in, but there's plenty of room for you to join us, so please do.
All right, and while you take a moment to send us a text during the commercial break, we want to tell you what's coming up. We're going to head over to the IWK's health classrooms. Have you heard about this? To see how they're getting ready for back to school. Patient care doesn't stop, and so too learning continues. We'll get the details in just a few minutes.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:41. Taking a live look at a sunny start to the day over in Port de Grave. 16 degrees early this morning. We do have a chance of some scattered showers expected this afternoon. Weather is brought to you by Cummins Trusted Home Standby Generators. Quite a muggy start to the day, especially for the maritime region. 22 degrees starting off your day in Sydney as well as into Charlottetown. 18 degrees in St. John, New Brunswick, with 11 in Labrador City, 16 in St. John's. We do have a special weather statement currently issued for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, expecting around 30 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. We also have a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Wednesday, looking at around 40 to 90 millimeters. And then for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island, a rainfall warning in effect until this afternoon, seeing around 10 to 30 millimeters. Over to our forecast timeline. We are expecting some wet weather across much of Atlantic Canada today, so make sure to have your rain gear before heading out. It is going to remain humid for the maritime region, a chance of showers and risk of thunderstorms. For parts of Cape Breton Island, looking at periods of rain with the risk of thunderstorms to start your day, tapering off to a chance of showers into the afternoon. Now, Newfoundland, Labrador also dealing with shower activity, a risk of thunderstorms as well for parts of Newfoundland. For the maritime region, we are going to hold on to precipitation for the overnight hours. Relatively warm for tonight as well. And then we're going to see precipitation clear for early Tuesday morning for the most part, leaving sunshine before a chance of showers returns. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, remaining quite light for New Brunswick, only seeing an additional 2 to 5 millimeters, as well as for Prince Edward Island. Heaviest for Cape Breton Island, still remaining quite light, 5 to 10 millimeters for Sydney, and the heaviest for Yarmouth, 10 to 20 millimeters. For Labrador, only seeing around 5 to 10 millimeters for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and the heaviest is for Port aux Basques in Newfoundland at around 40 to 50 plus millimeters. For a forecast today for New Brunswick, isolated showers with a risk of thunderstorms across the province, highs between 21 to 27, and then for Prince Edward Island, looking at isolated showers throughout the island today, highs between 24 to 26, wind gusts this afternoon picking up to 40. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 22 degrees up to 27. Rain starts off the day with a risk of thunderstorms tapering off to a chance of scattered showers into the afternoon. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between 21 degrees in Yarmouth up to 27 today. Showers, risk of thunderstorms clearing out, leaving cloudy skies for mainland Nova Scotia. For Labrador City, a high of 16 degrees today with a few showers throughout your day. 22 for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off the day with sunshine. Scattered showers expected into the afternoon. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Going to head over now to the IWK.
Don't really have any plans this weekend?
No, nothing specific this weekend.
Hi, I'm Julia Countway. I'm one of the therapeutic classroom teachers at the Guerin Center at the IWK.
I'm Alex Neufers. I'm one of the teachers with Pediatric School Services here at the IWK.
And we're here to talk about the fact that there are teachers at the IWK and that there's actually 7 of us that work here, 6 within the Mental Health and Addictions program and 1 in the Children's Health program. And our job is to help students when they come into hospital for care to keep up with their schoolwork to the best of their ability. And it's a special part of the care where despite everything that's going on with them, they get to keep on going with something that's normal for them, which is their schoolwork. And as a part of our role, we also reach out to community schools to take on that piece for families that while their child is in hospital, that we can communicate with their school around what's the best way for them to keep up with their schoolwork, what's the priority for their schoolwork, and help with transition back to school when their hospital care is finished.
So I moved from the public school system to here a year and a half ago, just looking for a change more than anything, and an opportunity presented itself, and I decided to take it. It differs significantly from the public school system in that typically as a public school teacher, you're teaching a specific classroom, a specific subject, whereas here you kind of have to be able to do everything. I could see a student in the morning who's in primary and kind of learning to read and write for the first time, and then in the afternoon be working with a grade 12 student who's doing calculus. So you kind of have to be like a little bit capable of doing everything, which yeah, is a big change, but I like it. It makes my day very interesting and diverse.
This is my classroom here, and it's a one-room schoolhouse where we have students from all the different regional centers for education that come here for our classroom hours, and so lots of variety on what might be happening. Could have someone working on art, someone working on grade 5 science, grade 9 math, all happening at once. But the great part about it is that the classroom is therapeutic in nature, so along with that, we're able to offer one-on-one teaching, be responsive in the moment based on symptoms of illness, kind of adjust learning demands, and feed that back to schools about what's working and what's not working. And so, yes, you definitely have to be flexible and creative and do a lot of your own professional development and learning to keep up with all the different subjects. This job is really rewarding. It allows students to stay attached to something that's normal for them, which is their schoolwork. And a lot of students are like worried about they're missing school when they come into hospital. So we can help alleviate that stress and also keep them connected to their community schools and feel like they're not missing out. And that comes through the communication with schools and community teachers to figure out like what are the priorities for work. We've also been able to do some really creative things where students, are being able to do a science experiment in our classroom that their classroom is currently doing, and so they feel like they're still in some ways a part of it, and we can take pictures of the work and send it to their community schools. We've had students graduate from our classrooms, and we always have an end-of-year celebration, so we try to keep those normal things going despite them being in hospital to keep their schoolwork and school kind of life going.
So when I tell people that I'm a teacher, usually people will kind of assume that I teach at a certain school or a certain subject, and by telling them that I'm a teacher at the IWK, the reaction is usually very similar. It is, I didn't know that existed, but that makes so much sense. Because people are kind of it makes sense that there's teachers here, but most of the public doesn't realize that it's even a service, and there's lots of patients that come into this building that don't even know school is an option while they're here, and families are relieved often to hear that their child can continue to do school while they're a patient here.
Staying with health and medical news, health experts are weighing in after a new type of treatment reportedly showed positive results in late-stage trials. It's one of the topics in Your Health. Moderna said the findings concern an experimental cancer vaccine targeting the deadliest form of skin cancer, melanoma. Moderna and Merck are developing the treatment together. It relies on mRNA technology, the same technology that's used in COVID vaccines. The cancer shots are personalized for each patient, and they're designed to teach their immune systems to recognize the unique genetic fingerprint of their cancer. The companies say when paired with an existing immunotherapy, the new vaccine treatment helped reduce the risk of cancer returning or spreading further.
I want to clarify that although we call it vaccine, this is not a preventative vaccine. This is more of a therapeutic vaccine to treat cancer rather than prevent cancer. We haven't had much success with this in the past, and this is the first time also with the mRNA platform. So from scientific point of view, it is very exciting, but we haven't seen the data yet, so we don't. It's just a press release saying that this is a positive trial. So how much positive it is, as in how much it improved outcomes. And we know that survival outcomes are still immature, so it's more about preventing relapse in the future. But by how much magnitude it is, that will tell us more about how much excited to be about this. But from purely scientific standpoint, most of similar trials have been negative in the past, and this is the first time we are seeing a positive trial, so that is exciting.
Moderna and Merck said they plan to present the full study results at an upcoming international medical meeting. There's no timeline on when they might apply for regulatory approval of the experimental treatment. Finally, Health Canada has issued a recall for a brand of child carriers over a fall hazard. It's the Navy MEC shuttlecraft kid carrier, but only units from a certain batch are affected. Health Canada says a shoulder strap attachment point can fail, causing the carrier to slip off. As of last week, there have been no reports of injuries in Canada. You're advised to immediately stop using it and return the product to an MEC store for a refund.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder that milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. And speaking of milestones, a recent wedding almost didn't happen when thieves stole some essential supplies for an outdoor reception.
The groom and some wedding guests were under pressure to find the missing goods before the bride found out. Reporter Eric Wilkinson has the story.
So this is where the reception was.
Every groom is nervous on his wedding day, but Alex Morris had a lot more to worry about than just cold feet.
I was sweating it out.
Alex and his then fiancée, Catherine, invited 260 of their closest friends to watch them wed this past Saturday. But there was an uninvited +1 who stole a set of Bluetooth speakers to be used for the ceremony, along with gallons of booze and other drinks. At that point, Alex had just one mission.
Catherine cannot know what's going on.
Easier said than done, especially when the two bumped into each other. Remember that old wives' tale that it's bad luck for the bride and groom to see each other before the ceremony?
And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yep." And she's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Nothing." And I gave her a kiss. I said, "Everything is going to be okay."
So you started off your marriage with a lie.
We did. Yeah, we did ultimately.
Fortunately for the bride and groom, in addition to the wedding photographer, there were security cameras running during the event, and they had some secret weapons up their sleeves as well. Cameras captured this Jeep rolling through the grounds in the hours before the wedding. And it just so happened there were a handful of off-duty deputies at the wedding party who recognized that Jeep and went to track the driver down. But the clock was ticking. The ceremony was just 3 hours away.
I asked him, I said, "Hey man, do you think you can get this back by 2 p.m.? And he looked at me and he said, we're going to try.
And they succeeded. Everything recovered. The wedding went on, and the bride never had a clue until Alex told her later.
She was just so thankful that everything had panned out the way that it did in the end.
The happy couple read their vows while the suspect was read his rights. By the time the cake was cut, the case was closed. As for that little white lie, Catherine has given a full pardon.
It's a great story that we're going to be able to tell for years to come.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, 25 degrees in New Brunswick, isolated showers with a risk of thunderstorms today. And then on Tuesday, we're looking at sunshines to start your day. A low chance of showers returns into the afternoon, warming up 26 degrees midweek on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud. For Nova Scotia, a bit of wet weather to start your day, clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies with a high of 23. 24 degrees on Tuesday, scattered showers, looking at a mix of sun and cloud for mainland Nova Scotia, and then sunshine expected for Wednesday with a high of 24. For Prince Edward Island, 25 degrees today with isolated showers across the island. Sunshine returns on Tuesday with 25 degrees as your daytime high. 25 yet again on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Monday, August 24th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Canada's Atlantic Premier is once again calling on people to buy local as Canada squares off against the U.S. in an escalating trade war. The latest just ahead.
And La Voix de la Mer, we speak with a filmmaker and an actor about their role in an exciting production that is celebrating Acadian culture. We'll have that conversation coming up a little bit later on this half hour.
Good morning. We're so happy that you could join us. There are a lot of places you could be, and we're so happy that you are choosing to spend part of your morning, part of your day with us. I was hanging out with one of my friends this morning. She's originally from the South Shore of Nova Scotia, Bridgewater area. She was spending some time with family, and she was saying that they always have this show on in the morning. And she said, so I got to see you quite a bit. And I said, yeah, you heard my serious news voice. She goes, you do have a serious news voice.
That's funny.
She goes, you do not sound like that. I said, no, when we were hanging out, I definitely do not sound like that. But we were hanging over the weekend. She got a new puppy. My friend Terry got a puppy.
Ooh, what kind of pup?
Cute. A doodle mix.
Okay.
Her name's Ruby, and she's so adorable.
Nice.
Puppies are the best.
They are so cute.
They're so wonderful. I know the wet weather didn't bother my big puppy over the weekend, walking him. Just as happy. Some dogs I know are picky when it comes to the forecast.
My golden doodle Molly doesn't like wet weather.
She doesn't, hey?
I'm like, oh my God, go outside. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Mine used to be precious, but I think just you got to lead by example, and now they love it. Like, we're going out.
Yeah,
We're
Marge is
embracing
just like, see ya. She's gone. I don't know. It's funny.
Oh gosh. So if you have to walk the dog today, you gotta be, I guess you better dress for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, need to get here to this fabulous site.
It's
oh my gosh,
gorgeous.
Macadam is just a jewel.
They dressed that up very well for the holidays as well.
Okay. Yes. I remember seeing that last year.
But that's a long ways away.
Yeah, it's on the list though.
Yes, definitely. And as you can see, an overcast start to the day over in Macadam. Muggy this morning, 18 degrees to start your day. And we do have a chance of some isolated showers expected in your area. Just something to keep in mind when you are heading out this morning. 22 degrees in Charlottetown, 21 in Halifax, 9 degrees over in Cartwright, 17 in Corner Brook. We do still have a special weather statement in effect until Tuesday night for parts of Newfoundland, as well as a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday. A rainfall warning also in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. So here's a look at the wet weather tracking across Atlantic Canada. A chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms for the Maritime region. Newfoundland and Labrador also seeing a few showers to start your day. Parts of Newfoundland seeing shower activity into the afternoon. And in terms of your wind forecast, going to pick up into the afternoon as well. As of right now, 26 kilometers per hour into Grand Etang with 24 in North Cape, 20 into Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 39 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 33 in North Cape, and 28 in Sydney. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. The latest on the trade war in just a moment. But first, power has been restored in downtown Halifax this morning. This follows a large outage that at its peak impacted more than 3,600 Nova Scotia Power customers. It was due to smoke conditions from an electrical panel at the Scotia Bank Centre early this morning. Multiple fire trucks and police responded to the scene. Halifax Fire says it was quickly extinguished, but it did lead to a power outage in the downtown core, including street lights and traffic signals. Power was restored just before the 7 o'clock hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the United States is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. Meantime, Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging people to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted this to social media. New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and supporting New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston's statement says, in part, it's clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. And Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. The weight of a cancer diagnosis is incredibly difficult for the patient, but also for their families. On Prince Edward Island, one firefighter is using all of his strength to support his partner. CTV's Maria Saru has more on the unique fundraiser.
Pink socks disappearing into heavy boots, firefighter Bradley Slater pulls on his bunker gear, buckles in, then hoists a breathing apparatus onto his shoulders. He's wearing 75 pounds to walk 5 kilometers, his way of symbolizing the everyday struggle of supporting a loved one living with cancer.
There's a lot of weight that's carried through that process.
3 years ago, his partner Jeanette Carey was diagnosed with medullary thyroid cancer. Only able to receive a fraction of care at home, the couple travels to Halifax for some scans or surgeries.
This is an endocrine disease. I should have an endocrinologist, but there aren't any endocrinologists on the island.
Their online campaign is collecting donations for the PEI Cancer Treatment Center.
The runners crossing this finish line are also supporting a second cancer cause. The Just to Live event raises money for EHE sarcoma research at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center in Toronto.
It's the ultra-rare cancer organizer Michelle Hughes was diagnosed with 5 years ago.
My husband and I were completely devastated. Right now it's considered an incurable cancer with no treatment protocol at the moment, but they're all working incredibly hard to try to find us a treatment.
Passing out medals was Health Minister Corey Deagle.
It's a smaller province. We're only able to offer so many services here on PEI, but it's something that we're always looking to expand.
Hand in hand, Slater and Carey made it through the last rain-soaked stretch.
It was a lot of fun. It was a great time.
It was easy having everybody with us to help carry us through.
More runners and walkers followed, choosing to do something hard for those facing something even harder. Maria Saru, CTV News, Cornwall, Prince Edward Island.
Yes, at the end. This is what I love about running, right? It brings people together and it lets you know, like, you cannot wait for perfect conditions. You got to go out and embrace what you have.
It's true.
Good with the bad.
Exactly, and it's so much fun once you cross that finish line. At least.
It's true. That is.
Feel a great sense of accomplishment, for sure. Okay, well, you know we love it when you send us your photos. So today we've got some beauties from viewer Darlene Cashin. Now, she was watching the show bright and early Friday when we saw the heron on the Bedeck Live Eye. And this is a heron that she says visits her home in Charles Cove on the eastern shore of Nova Scotia. This little heron is a regular visitor. She says she recently saw a fox who stopped by for a little snack at the ocean's edge. And she says she just thought she'd share her little slice of heaven with us. And I'm so glad you did.
What a view to wake up to every day.
What a place to be. Yeah.
Go to sleep to. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, great photography too. Thank you so much for those photos.
Thank you. And speaking of photos, Latavia's been busy collecting a number of your photos and text messages about backyard critters that you've seen for the Mood Morning Chat. We cannot wait to share those with you. That's coming up just before 9 o'clock.
Yay.
But until then, we're going to have another break. Don't trust the app on your phone for the forecast. Trust this gal over here. Latavia's got the forecast in just a few minutes. Plus, I'll have the latest on your national and international news headlines.
Happy Monday, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:10. We're taking a live look at a gloomy start to the day over in Digby. 16 degrees as of right now, but then factor in that sticky humidity. It's going to be quite a warm day ahead. We do have a chance of some isolated showers in your area today, something to keep in mind when you are heading out early on. Weather's brought to you by Cummins Trusted Home Standby Generators. 21 degrees to start your day in Halifax with 22 in Charlottetown, 19 degrees in Fredericton, 11 degrees in Labrador City, 18 in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, as we expect rainfall between 30 to 60 millimeters. A rainfall warning also in effect until Wednesday. Rainfall a little bit heavier, expecting around 40 to 90 millimeters. And then a rainfall warning also in place for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island until this afternoon, expecting around 10 to 30 millimeters. So still dealing with wet weather across Atlantic Canada today. A chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms early on for parts of the Maritime region. For Cape Breton, periods of rain, a risk of thunderstorms tapering off to a chance of scattered showers into the afternoon. Newfoundland, Labrador also seeing wet weather. Parts of Newfoundland starting off the day with a bit of sunshine, but also going to see a chance of scattered showers move in into the afternoon. So wet weather is expected to continue into the afternoon and into the evening. Starting to clear out, though, early into Tuesday morning. We are going to see a bit of sunshine return for the Maritime region before a chance of showers returns into the afternoon. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, remaining quite light for much of the Maritimes. As of right now, we're looking at around 2 to 5 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick across Prince Edward Island, 5 to 10 millimeters expected for Sydney and Cape Breton Island, and 10 to 20 for Yarmouth. For Labrador, only seeing around 2 to 10 millimeters expected across the province. And then the heaviest for Newfoundland, 40 to 50 plus millimeters expected for Port aux Basques. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from 20 to 27 degrees, isolated showers and a risk of thunderstorms throughout your day. And then for Prince Edward Island, looking at highs between 24 to 26, isolated showers also expected today with wind gusts getting up to 40 this afternoon. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, periods of rain, a risk of thunderstorms to start, tapering off to scattered showers into the afternoon. Wind gusts getting up to 40 with daytime highs between 22 to 27. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, a few showers and a risk of thunderstorms starting off your day. Clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies this afternoon. Daytime highs between 22 degrees in Yarmouth, up to 27 in Middleton and Kentville. And then for Labrador City, looking at a high of 16 degrees today. A few showers throughout your day today. 22 for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off the day with a bit of sunshine and then seeing shower activity move in into the afternoon. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Now to the latest on the trade stalemate between Canada and the U.S. as the reality of an all-out trade war between the two countries sets in. CTV's Jeremy Charon has more.
A Sunday at the Washington Grand Prix for U.S. President Donald Trump, who for the first time overnight weighed in on failed trade talks with Canada, leading to an all-out trade war. Canada wants the benefits of being a state without being one, the president said on social media. They have also charged our great farmers for many years massive amounts of tariffs. No more.
To think that they're going to go to war with Donald Trump and actually win that war with the U.S., I think it's foolish on their part.
The U.S.'s fight with Canada over trade getting major play on American network TV today.
As trade talks with Canada fall apart.
It's Canada versus the United States.
With the president facing pushback already at home.
I think the last thing we need right now, as our economy is getting back on its feet, is a trade war with Canada.
American business groups are speaking out against escalations, pointing to rising costs for the American people, asking both sides to get back to the negotiating table.
Donald Trump cares about the business class. He cares about those billionaires. They don't want this, and they're speaking out.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has promised retaliatory measures set to be imposed September 8th. Some suggest creating a window of opportunity.
There may be an opportunity in this pause for the American side to regroup and to become a bit more coherent.
Though public polling here prior to the breakdown in talks suggests the Prime Minister has the political capital to keep fighting back.
I think that we're going to have to see real change on the American side, a weakened political position, a drive and a desire that it's in their self-interest to strike a deal before we get back to the table in any meaningful way.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has promised dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs, but a list of goods has yet to be released. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, earlier this year, Ottawa implemented a gas tax holiday to help Canadians weather the affordability crisis. But that is set to expire right after Labor Day. CTV's Michael Serapio now on just how much more that fill-up could cost in the coming days.
For many, this is not an option, but a necessity.
What can we do?
Filling up the tank for work, for school, for family, but it all comes at a cost.
This is like 130.
Back in April, the federal government temporarily suspended the excise tax on gas, an effort to help Canadians and industries deal with higher fuel prices. But the measure was only ever meant to last the summer, which means gas prices are about to go up.
I wish it wouldn't be as high. Maybe it could be reduced.
It's why the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Ottawa to make the temporary cuts permanent, pointing out, according to StatsCan, gas prices have gone up 25.7% since last summer.
It hurts. It means I have to sacrifice other things.
The Federation says restoring 10 cents a litre on gas and 4 cents per litre on diesel would mean, on average, an extra $6 to fill up a sedan, $7 for a minivan, and $10 for a truck. A rising cost against the backdrop of an escalating trade war.
People worried about life getting even more expensive? I couldn't think of a worse time to hike the gas tax back up.
Federal Conservatives agree, but are upping the ante, calling on the Carney government to cut all federal taxes on gas up to Canada Day 2027. No excise tax, no GST, no clean energy fuel charge.
It'll save Canadians 25 cents per litre. It'll save $1,200 per year per family.
But how Ottawa will respond is yet to be seen. For now, the Office of the Federal Finance Minister stating the government will continue to pursue measures that lower costs and respond to the global economic environment.
6 cents extra would be a big hit.
Now, if the Carney government does not change course, it means the fuel excise tax will be back on September the 8th, leaving Canadians just 2 more weekends to take advantage of this so-called holiday.
CTV's Michael Serapio reporting in Ottawa. Another break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have details on a new film that takes place in a small Acadian fishing community. Details on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 8:20. We're about to hear a clip from a film by a filmmaker named Yvette D'Entremont.
Je veux te parler.
As-tu déjà oublié? J'ai dit non.
Écoute-moi rien qu'une minute. Tu vas voir, là, que...
Papa, je vais point prendre la chance.
That is filmmaker Yvette d'Entremel's interpretation of The Voice of the Sea, La Voix de la Mer, the title of her first movie that takes place in a small Acadian fishing community in Nova Scotia. And in this clip, Simon, a young lobster fisherman, is having a conversation with his father, who's begging his son to let him go fishing with him because it's truly hard to let go of that voice, La Voix de la Mer. We're thrilled to welcome director Yvette d'Entremel and actor Léo Leblanc to our studio this morning. They drove all the way up from the South Shore this morning in very foggy conditions. Thank you for making the effort this morning.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
So we are shining a spotlight on your work, Yvette. Now, I know that you are a former teacher. You are a singer-songwriter and now filmmaker. You were Suzette Bellevaux's teacher.
Yes, I was.
Of time, which is wonderful. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to create La Voix de la Mer into a movie. And it was a musical. Now you wanted to make it into a movie.
Yes, it was a musical. I wanted to adapt the film. It was offered to the cameraman and editor from a grant through Heritage Canada, and his job was to recruit someone to write and direct a story of some kind. And he sought me out, and I decided what better way to promote La Voix de la Mer than to turn it into a film.
Yes, and it's being with the help of many actors. Léo, you're an actor in the film, but you're also a lobster fisherman in real life.
Yeah.
What was it like to play the role of a lobster fisherman in a film as opposed to on the water?
It was, well, very different because obviously it's acting and not for real, but definitely it was cool because I do have some prior knowledge, obviously, at how things work at sea. Yes. And you know, how things are done. So
how do you feel about seeing yourself on screen in a role?
It is different. Usually I don't like listening to my voice on recordings or seeing myself in stuff I've done on stage before, but this time is a bit different. It's the first time I do any film work, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Well, we're all very excited to have a chance to see the movie. I know, Yvette, it's kind of, first of all, you created the film. That process for you, how was that for you? Because I know you've done a lot of work in the arts, but was this the first time you've done an actual film?
Yes, this is the first time, and it's also the first time for many of us in the film. We're kind of newbies in this industry, but it was quite a steep learning curve. I was lucky enough to be paired with Annika Lirette, who's a professional stage and screen actress and director and producer, who guided me through the screenplay and also through the first part of the directing. And Sean Burke, the editor and cameraman and everything else. We wore many hats, so it was the first time for all of us, and it was a lovely experience. I am definitely hooked.
Well, I understand that your son, Francois, is the movie's music composer. That must be exciting.
It was quite special to work with Francois. Working on it for about a year and a half on developing the themes and talking back and forth, getting feedback and watching some mock-ups and deciding how the music should develop and portray the different characters. And the music certainly elevates the film. It's definitely epic, an epic soundtrack.
Yeah, so Léo, in this film, it's an opportunity to share the Acadian culture with the wider world. What do you want the world to know about, for example, lobster fisher, you know, tradition in Acadian culture?
Cases how the communities in lobster fishing areas or fishing communities in general, everybody's kind of, it's pretty tight knit, so everybody knows each other and you know that it's pretty common that at sea anything can happen. Accidents happen, people get hurt, and when that stuff happens, the community usually gets together and helps the people through the hard times. So I think that's one thing they could take away from that.
Yeah, every time it's dumping day, so many of us pray for you, for your safety. I have two questions for you, Yvette, to end the interview. First of all, why it's important for you to share this culture with the world, but also where people could see the screenings this weekend.
To show the resilience, really, of not only the Acadian community, but like Léo said, the fishing community and the people who live on the coastal communities and how they come together and you know, to understand the power of the sea. It sustains life and traditions as it has for generations and generations. And that's, I guess, the big takeaway from that. We live as a family and a community, and that's what propels us forward. The screenings, we have 2 special screenings coming up. A red carpet screening on Friday, August the 28th, and an extra one on Saturday for those who weren't able to make it. It's not a premiere, but it's a first screening, so people will have the chance to see community members that they know on air, on screen. And there's plans for the future to have it available. I'm not sure for now what format, but it will become available.
It's going to go on the festival circuit, hopefully, and we'll be and keep us abreast, Yvette, as those developments happen, so we can share that with the viewers. Leo, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette, for coming in today.
Our pleasure.
Congratulations on the film, and thank you for molding Suzette Belleville into the fine woman she is. we put more information on our website about La Voix de la Mer. We will be right back after this.
Coming up in this half hour, returning to the classroom, lifestyle contributor Nikki Anastaskis joins us with her must-haves for the school season. That's in 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now is 8:30, and it is quite muggy and wet across the region today, especially in the maritime region. Humidity still factoring in. You can feel it. It kind of hits you right when you open the door.
It really hits you.
Yeah.
I was so happy that I got my son some new rain pants for the school year because we used them this weekend. Tested them out and they work great.
Right?
It was a rain pants weekend for sure.
It was, yeah. Quite soggy yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I'd love to see where we're headed right now for a live eye and then find out kind of a little bit more detail about what we're looking at.
All right. Well, we're going to head over to Brundridge Point. And as you can see, quite a foggy start to the day, a bit of a wet one as well. We do have a chance of showers for much of the maritime region to start your day. So something to keep in mind when you are heading out, don't forget your rain gear. 21 degrees in Halifax with 22 starting off your day in Charlottetown, 21 in Moncton, 14 degrees over in Happy Valley Goose Bay and into St. Anthony. A special weather statement remains in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night. We also have a rainfall warning in effect until Wednesday, and for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island until this afternoon, a rainfall warning remains in effect. So here's a look at the wet weather tracking across Atlantic Canada. A chance of showers. We are seeing periods of rain early on. A risk of thunderstorms for Cape Breton Island will taper off to a chance of showers this afternoon. Newfoundland and Labrador seeing wet weather as well throughout the day today. And in terms of our wind forecast, it's going to be a breezy afternoon. As of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in North Cape and Charlottetown, 22 in Grand Etang with 19 in Sydney. Wind gusts getting up to 33 right now in North Cape, Grand Etang, and Sydney. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Power has been restored in downtown Halifax. This following a large outbreak that at its peak impacted more than 3,600 Nova Scotia Power customers. It was due to smoke conditions from an electrical panel at the Scotiabank Centre early this morning. As you can see, it prompted a large response by Halifax fire crews and Halifax police. HRM Fire says that they quickly extinguished the fire, but it also led to a power outage in the downtown core that included streetlights and traffic signals. Power was restored just before the 7 o'clock hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to suspend trade talks with the United States is drawing support here at home while prompting fresh criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump revived his 51st state rhetoric on Truth Social as new 50% tariffs took effect on about $28 billion worth of Canadian goods. Carney says Canada will respond with dollar-for-dollar tariffs starting September 8th. Meantime, Atlantic Canada's premiers are urging people here to buy local. PEI Premier Rob Lance posted this video to social media over the weekend.
And every Islander has a part to play. When you have the choice, buy local and buy Canadian. And guess what? Our policy on U.S. alcohol is not changing. We're going to stand up for our businesses.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted this to social media. New Brunswick stands strong and united with Team Canada as we fight for a fair deal. Some New Brunswick businesses have now been hit with an unjustified tariff that will hurt our economy, workers, and families. New Brunswickers have been fiercely loyal to our local businesses and producers. Now more than ever, we need to double down on buying local and supporting New Brunswick businesses and workers. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston said this in part in a statement. It is clear that we cannot trust or rely on the United States as we once did. This reality must make us more determined than ever to make Nova Scotia and Canada stronger. For Nova Scotia, that means developing our own energy, developing our own natural resources, and finding new markets for Nova Scotian goods and services. In Newfoundland and Labrador, Premier Tony Wakeham writes, Newfoundland and Labrador stands firmly with Team Canada. I want to thank the negotiating team for their hard work and dedication in navigating discussions with an unpredictable partner. Prime Minister Mark Carney has my full support as we maintain a united Team Canada approach. Newfoundland and Labrador stands ready to do its part. Finally, the 6th annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation Day race brought dozens to Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia over the weekend. CTV's Vanessa Wright reports.
The vibes are great. They started off stretching and music, and it was just great. The pit stops vibes were great. They kept you going. So yeah, it was really good. It was a great 5K.
Dance across the finish line.
The annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation Race returned to Cherrybrook for its 6th year.
So this year we had 242 participants that registered, and on top of that, more people that showed up asking if they can participate.
The event brings community together to promote physical and racial wellness.
I found that it was really important for BLM in this together to have the run focus within this community, to try to let people know that, for one, this community, Cherrybrook, Lake Loon, is one of the smallest African Nova Scotian communities of the Preston Township, and to kind of bring it back alive, if you will.
Whether they were running, walking, or dancing, it was a time for the community to enjoy each other's company.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm from Guysborough, which is 3 hours away from here, but love the Black Culture Center, love the people who live here, love Cherrybrook, so it's great to be here for today.
I just like running outside. It's like really fun, and it's a nice hot day, and it's nice and fun to just join the community in like a 5-kilometer walk.
And seeing all kinds of people like happy and all that, just having like a good time and all that.
Over the years, the event expanded to include a vendor's market, wellness activities, and more. But the race is a fan favorite.
Everybody is showing up at this race and ensuring that they're fighting for anti-Black racism.
And doing so one step at a time. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia.
One dance, one shuffle.
Exactly. Those steps are different depending on the person.
Oh yeah, he was busting a wine.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, here's another feel-good story, or should I say in this case, a seal-good story. Right? Isn't that cute? 2 seal pups are back in the wild after 3 months of care at the Vancouver Aquarium's Marine Mammal Rescue Center. Said Lana and Jimmy Two Shoes were the first seal pups to arrive at the Rescue Society. This was back in May, but it's believed both were less than a week old then when they were found alone and underweight. But now, after months of specialized care, the pups have been cleared to return to the wild. They seem like, yay!
Aww.
Aren't they cute?
They're adorable.
They are so cute.
Off they go. They're nice and plump. Ready to go. And their coats are so cute.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous color, yeah.
Beautiful. I had the privilege to go to the Vancouver Aquarium last year on vacation. It was amazing.
Pretty much a year ago today, almost.
Yes, it was.
Wow. Time flies when
they
you're
miss you.
fun.
The seal pups say they missed you, and they wish you were there.
Oh, that was good.
Very good. Your heart seal. I love this.
All right, we're going to take a look at our community calendar now, highlighting some events taking place this week. Discover the era of Prohibition in St. Hilaire at the Moonshine Festival. This will be from August 27th until the 30th. You can come out and enjoy family activities, visit the Prohibition Museum. There will also be an old-fashioned photo booth, live music, and great food. Head over to the website for additional information. And a book sale will take place later this week in Cornwall. Head over to the Cornwall Public Library Thursday, August 27th at 9 a.m. to shop all kinds of books. The sale runs until Saturday, August 29th. Proceeds raised goes towards programming and events. And there will be a village harvest feast being hosted at Sherbrooke Village. This will be August 28th at 5:30 p.m. You can come out, and they will be closing out the season with a lively outdoor feast featuring the best of Nova Scotia harvest flavors. For additional details and a breakdown of the food you'll be eating, head over to their website. And if you do have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
All right, love that. Okay, coming up next, we'll have our lifestyle contributor who's going to be sharing her back-to-school essentials. That is going to be here before we know it, because we're in the last full week of August. Details on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back and happy Monday. The time now is 8:42. We're taking a live look at Halls Harbor. A cloudy start to the day. We are expecting some scattered showers early on. Currently 23 degrees as you head outdoors, feeling quite muggy as well. Weather is brought to you by Cummins Trusted Home Standby Generators. 21 degrees in Halifax with 22 in both Sydney and Charlottetown. 18 degrees in St. John, New Brunswick with 11 in Labrador City. 19 degrees in Corner Brook. We do have a special weather statement that remains in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night. Expecting around 30 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. A rainfall warning also issued until Wednesday, looking at rainfall totals ranging from 40 to 90 millimeters. And a rainfall warning also issued until this afternoon for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island, seeing around 10 to 30 millimeters. Over to our forecast timeline. A cloudy, foggy, and muggy start to the day for the Maritime region. A chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms is also expected early on. For Newfoundland and Labrador, also dealing with wet weather throughout your day with a few showers expected. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected for New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Only around a 30% chance of shower activity is expected today. But into this evening, we are still dealing with some wet weather for the Maritimes. Newfoundland, Labrador also seeing precipitation, and that will take us into early Tuesday morning. We start to see that precipitation clear out for the Maritime region. We will be seeing sunshine return into Tuesday's forecast before a low chance of showers returns as well. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick, across Prince Edward Island, and seeing around 5 to 10 millimeters for Sydney and Cape Breton. And the heaviest for the Tri-County area, 10 to 20 millimeters expected into Yarmouth. 5 to 10 millimeters also expected for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and the heaviest for Newfoundland, 40 to 50 millimeters plus for Port aux Basques. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, isolated showers, a risk of thunderstorms throughout your day today. Daytime highs between 20 degrees in St. John up to 27. Light wind also expected today. For Prince Edward Island, isolated showers across the island with highs between 24 to 26. Wind gusts picking up this afternoon, getting up to 40. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from 22 to 27. Rain starts off the day with a risk of thunderstorms tapering off to scattered showers into the afternoon. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 22 to 27. Shower activity early on with the risk of thunderstorms clearing out for mainland Nova Scotia, leaving cloudy skies into the afternoon. For Labrador City today, looking at a high of 16 degrees with showers throughout your day. 22 for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off the day with a bit of sunshine and then seeing shower activity move in into the afternoon. It's only around a 60% chance of it happening, though. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Crystal.
It's back to school prepping season, and our next guest has some student essentials you can find at a popular store near you. Here to tell us more is our partner and lifestyle contributor, Nikki Anastasakis. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Very excited to talk all about Walmart Canada and everything you need for back to school they have with your favorite brands and everyday low prices. From dorm essentials, tech, Walmart Canada has all the options, and I can't wait to dive in.
All right, perfect. Let's begin with the student essential, headphones. I know a good pair of headphones is great for entertainment, but it's also great for studying.
Yeah, we have the Beats Solo Buds. These are right here. You can upgrade your tech with these buds in a really small case, the smallest they've ever made. Crisp sound. They have a dual layer to minimize distortion, and high fidelity sound, up to 18 hours of battery life. These are, again, the smallest they've ever made. So they're great to just zone out when you're studying, or put them on when you need a little break after school.
Yeah, fantastic. Or you get really crisp audio for those online classes. Okay, tell us about the tablet that you have on the table.
Yeah, then we have this On 8.1-inch lightweight tablet. This will help students stay connected through classes, study sessions, and downtime. 64 gigs, LCD touchscreen, perfect for studying, again, or enjoying downtime. And, you know, you can pull up your notes right there, and it's really compact. So I love that about it.
Oh, yeah, portability, so important for students. All right, I saw something on the desk there that I'm eyeing up, that beautiful blue coffee maker. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's definitely beautiful and blue. This is the Keurig K-Express Essentials single serve K-Cup coffee maker. What I love about it is you can directly fit a travel mug right in here. I know certain coffee makers are too short to do that, so this is perfect for that. For early mornings, long days, and late night study sessions, this machine is convenient addition to help students stay fueled and ready for the day. Delicious coffee in minutes. 3 cup sizes. You can literally brew it all with their pods. And again, space-saving coffee maker that comes with so many trendy colors. It comes in red, blue, black, and green.
Oh my gosh, totally going to check that out. It's also great for news hosts as well as students. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know that having a dedicated study space can make a huge difference. What did you find for creating a comfortable and functional workspace?
Yeah, we have a desk and chair by Mainstays. This is the 2-drawer computer desk, which creates a comfortable and functional study space with 2 drawers. It also comes with a USB port built into the desk, so that's super handy. I haven't quite seen that before. And then the computer chair, it's really comfortable. It is ergonomic to avoid any back pain and arm pain. It has lumbar back support, ergonomically positioned with lift-up armrests, high back, breathable mesh fabric. So you want to make sure your children, your students are super comfortable in the study season. I know that was super important for me when I was studying. So this chair and this desk will help you do just that.
Yeah, the chair looks very comfortable and supportive, and also that desk is very easy on the eyes. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much. You can get all of these at walmart.ca or your nearest Walmart.
Perfect. You have a great day, Nikki.
Have a great day, everyone.
That was our partner and lifestyle contributor, Nikki Anastasakis.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. We really can't wait to show you the photos and texts that you sent us about the backyard critters that you spotted. You have seen a lot. Okay, let's start with Tara from Halifax. I had the pleasure of meeting not 1, not 2, but 3 new babies this weekend. Always have deer, but my first time seeing fawns. Aww. Mama ran away for some reason yesterday. Those babies stayed hunkered down in the tall grass for hours until she came back. Very good babies, and she's got a picture.
Aww.
Wow. Look how well they blend in.
They're so cute.
Remarkable.
I love seeing baby deer. Yay.
John from Fall River says we have a game camera or a trail camera set up and have pictures of deer, raccoons, and to our surprise, 2 beavers.
Oh, I love seeing beavers.
Beavers are adorable.
They really are very amazing.
What a treat. Barb from Moncton says, I have seen a
pileated woodpecker.
Thank you.
That's the big, tall ones like a woody woodpecker.
Yes.
Okay, those are the big ones.
I looked it up.
Really? Oh, that's hilarious.
What is it?
Sometimes you hear them before you see them.
Oh, that's true.
Trevor from Marguerite says, we've seen snakes in our yard. You want to see how big they are?
Yeah. Whoa! Holy moly.
Got brave kiddo there.
Wow, this is like Britney Spears stage kind of thing. Wow. Wow.
Spin them around your shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we have Dan from Spring Hill. This is an entire black bear family.
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa, lock the doors.
Absolutely. Hide the oatmeal, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Keep the garbage inside. Wow. Good luck with that one, Dan. Henoch says, we have deer and raccoons that come to our backyard regularly. One morning, we had an owl hooting in our backyard.
Aww.
Hooty hoo. Oh, they don't make that
That's
noise.
more of a pigeon noise, sorry.
Kathy from Trenton, a bunny and a deer usually make a daily appearance.
Together?
And she's got the photo to prove
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
wow. So
I
nice.
love seeing deer.
Me too.
Nice to see when you're not driving and if they're not
Oh, yeah, definitely.
picking at your garden.
Definitely, yep. No, it's true.
Nancy from Paradise has a story. Since I got my garden this spring, I've been blessed with a lovely, healthy skunk I've named Miss Muffet. She helps dig up some plants looking for grubs and the tender little shoots. She's amazing. We share mutual respect. She won't spray me as I give her free range because she has 4 babies to care for.
Wow, Nancy.
Yeah, she goes on to say, she trucked them across the road by the scruff of their neck, one by one, like a cat. Must have some mansion in the woods to attend to. So cute and healthy. I'm happy to see her and stay away from her den so she'll return. Look how she uses her tail as camouflage in the dandelion patch. Sneaky.
Oh, wow. She's pretty.
She's a
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
She's very pretty, just like how the stripe is just up about the head.
Right? So
and then
adorable.
The white on the tail. Oh, she's pretty.
Oh, that is nice. What a great photo. Peggy from Mahone Bay, we have plenty of deer and a few rabbits, but a few years ago we had a visit from our neighbors' guinea hens.
Ooh.
There were 13 total. In 2024, there was a bear. I'm glad you didn't see him at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the bear.
What a big bear.
That's a big
Whoa.
Woo. A specimen.
No. Nicole from Truro, I spotted a cardinal.
Ooh, that's good luck.
That's good luck. Look
Love
how
seeing
that photo. And they often
So bright.
remind people of loved ones too.
Right? Yes.
Our buddy LJ from Middleton, we had a bobcat lynx in our garden this winter. It hung around for about a week. This summer, we have a rabbit.
Wow.
So cool.
That's a lot to see. Stuart from Pleasant River says, animals that have been in my yard or around it, it's been many. We've seen bears, coyotes, deer, and of course raccoons. The raccoon, however, was more memorable. He climbed up on my wood pile and got into my green bin and could not get out.
Aww.
I used my wife's plant watering container to bathe him. He was a mess. Here's a photo.
I don't know if we have it.
Oh, shoot.
No, we
were
don't
having a
have it, but it was
technical issue.
adorable, Stuart.
Oh, maybe what we can do is we can maybe get that together for tomorrow or something. Karen from Wolfville, I feel privileged to have so much wildlife here. A family of red and black foxes, raccoons, mink, pheasants, hawks, and bald eagles.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Susan from Spryfield, I see this little gal a lot of mornings munching on my garden. One morning, a little cat decided to say hello to her.
It was another deer. Yeah, it was another deer outside.
Another deer. We'll try to get them,
Fantastic.
but
Beautiful.
wow, thank you all for taking the time to send us a text and send us photos, and that was so fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be on a special occasion. Send us photos of the critters you see.
Yes.
We'd love to share them anytime.
10400. We're the ones checking it, so we love to see.
Or email us.
Hear from you.
Good Morning Atlantic at
Anything.
CTV.ca.
Yeah.
All right, it's 8:57. Have a wonderful Monday. We are going to be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. for everybody in our region, including our friends in Moncton.